Welcome to this video. Today we are gonna look at what is rationale. Basis for writing the rationale. Length, elements of writing rationale and some examples of rationale. The rationale of your research is the reason for conducting the study. The rationale should answer the need for conducting the said research. It is a very important part of your publication as it justifies the significance and novelty of the study. That is why it is also referred to as the justification of the study. Ideally, your research should be structured as observation, rationale, hypothesis, objectives, methods, results, and conclusions. To write your rationale, you should first write a background on what all research has been done on your study topic. Follow this with what is missing or what are the open questions of the study. Identify the gaps in the literature and emphasize why it is important to address those gaps. This will form the rationale of your study. The rationale of a study can be presented both before and after the research is conducted. Before you execute your study, you should represent the plan of your work as formulated. Once the work is completed, the rationale is presented in a research paper or dissertation to explain why you focused on the particular question. In this instance, you would link the rationale of your research project to the study aims and outcomes. Basis for writing rationale. The study rationale is predominantly based on preliminary data. A literature review will help you identify gaps in the current knowledge base and also ensure that you avoid duplicating what has already been done. You can then formulate the justification for your study from the existing literature on the subject and the perceived outcomes of the proposed study. Length of writing rationale. In a research proposal or research article, the rationale would not take up more than a few sentences. A thesis or dissertation would allow for a longer description, which could even run into a couple of paragraphs. The length might even depend on the field of study or nature of the experiment. Elements of rationale. Every research rationale should include some mention or discussion of the following: an overview of your conclusions from your literature review, gaps in current knowledge, inconclusive or controversial findings from previous studies, the need to build on previous research, for example, unanswered questions, the need to update concepts in light of new findings and/or new technical advancements. For example, if the title is Frequency of Acute Kidney Injury and its Short-Term Effects After Acute Kidney Injury in Tertiary Care Hospital Sawabi, the rationale will be something like this. In view of the importance of acute kidney injury and its short-term effects, sound measurements are necessary not only at the national level but at the local level too, as limited literature is available in our setup. This study will provide us with local statistics of the frequency and short-term outcomes of acute kidney injury after acute myocardial infarction, delineate the optimal management strategy for patients with renal insufficiency following acute myocardial infarction. The results obtained will be shared with locally available healthcare providers. And future guidelines will then be formulated for patients with acute kidney injury following acute myocardial infarction, so as to improve the outcome of these patients. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one.